Hey, my name's ShawNshawN. I sell art on ShawNshawN.co and screen reads on ShawNshawNacting.com. Today we're going to review the Suicide Squad. So this is the second version of the Suicide Squad. I don't know why they just didn't call it Suicide Squad 2. It's directed by James Gunn. The time is 2 hours, 12 minutes. Yeah, Viola Davis returns as her part as Amanda Walker, kind of the boss of this whole team of the military running the Suicide Squad. John Ostrander plays Dr. Fitzgibbon, this crazy scientist. Joel Kinnaman plays Colonel Rick Flag, kind of the leader on the ground of the Suicide Squad. Nathan Fillion plays TDK, one of the Suicide Squad. Courtney plays Captain Boomerang. Margot Robbie returns as Harley Quinn. Idris Elba plays Bloodsport, and Cena plays Peacemaker. So it kind of starts off, Amanda puts this new crew together. They land on an island. They're supposed to take the island. The first crew gets completely decimated except for Harley Quinn. So that's like kind of a little shocking that they would have this whole crew blown over, then they bring a whole new crew, so there's a whole backup team for Suicide Squad. So they're true to the nature of the comic book, I think, as the members are completely expendable if they're criminals. So that's kind of, good that they're true to this comic book story there. I think they kind of did Will Smith wrong. Why did they replace him as Bloodsport? I thought he played in the first one well, so I don't know why they pulled Will Smith. He's a really great actor. Idris Elba is a great actor as well. So, he plays the part well, but why wouldn't you have the returning actors come back? I just don't see that. Maybe there was a falling out behind the scenes with the actors. I don't know, but kind of strange there. No Joker return. I don't know. People shit all over Joker, which was kind of a side plot in the first one. But I kind of liked him as a side character, but maybe it just wasn't necessary. There's a lot of gory deaths here, like people's heads blown off, and they really zoom in on it, but there's no point to the gore. I guess it's true to the comic books. From what I've read, the comics were really gory, but it just seems kind of morally bankrupt. There's just kind of nothing there. They're just like show death for death's sake, and you're like, why was that even necessary? It's kind of funny, but it doesn't really land, and you're just like, oh my god, this is a bunch of gory deaths, kind of no reason to it. A good way to do it, like Quentin Tarantino uses gory death, but there's a point to it, right? Like, there's certain key moments where the gore kind of comes out. Like they cut off an ear, they start a bloodbath at the end of a movie, or Django's being freed or something like that. There's a point to the gore. In this point, there's just no point to the gore. There's this fun idea of this kind of weird starfish creature that came from space, and they've harnessed it into this crazy island nation that's run by a dictatorship, which is very typical of South America and especially Central America. There's been a lot of dictatorships there, and they've been installed, overthrown by the US government, kind of puppet governments. Iran-Contra is a perfect example. The Sandinista versus the Contra. Reagan backed one side, and then Carter backed the other side, and they're just spending all this money of American dollars to screw up these countries. So it's kind of a nice take on the US government being kind of corrupt here. There was one of the characters, as Cena plays the Peacemaker, but because, before, it's kind of unrelated in a way, because he did. They just brought out a movie with him in The Fast and the Furious. Then he went to Taiwan. He said, "Oh, it's the first country we go to," and China was, Chinese government was pissed off and said, "Oh, the Chinese people are offended," but it was really the CCP, this Communist Party who does horrible things, was pissed off at John, and they would have probably canceled the movie, and that's probably 2/3 of the movie was made there, or they make all their money in the box office and probably even in the movies. Although there's probably a lot of black market of it, so probably they just made it a little bit in the movies, right? And so he made this crazy apologize letter in Mandarin, and of course it got out on the internet, and so he looked like a complete fool. But it just made the character completely unenjoyable from my point. I stand really strongly for democratic and human rights in my artwork, and this guy's just a complete fucking sellout. He should be deported to the China. Fuck you, Cena. Right here, man. So for that reason, I wouldn't encourage you to watch the movie. Why spend your money on a fucking asshole who supports a dictatorship, imprisoning 1.5 million Uyghurs, supporting organ harvesting. They just had floods, they buried people alive, and they didn't even acknowledge it. This is the kind of government this guy backs up just to make a fucking paycheck. Fuck him, and fuck anyone associated with Cena. That's my take of the day. So fuck this movie.